Hey Tiger fans, Mark Fitzpatrick from the Tiger Club of Kansas City. It's Tuesday, November 8th. Our guest speaker today, the well-known and excellent columnist for the Kansas City Star, Vahe Gregorian. Vahe, thanks for coming out today.
Great to be
We
with
covered
you.
a lot of topics today.
We did.
You talked about, after another gut-wrenching Mizzou loss, we kind of went over some history of that, but you made a great comment that you think the program is on the right track.
I really do feel like that, and look, in some ways you are what your record says you are. On the other hand, if you've watched those games, and really if you've watched most of the season, you'd feel like this trajectory is going nowhere but up. But for what I think might be fairly called two fluke plays, maybe three, it's a 6-3 record, right? And then it's much more tangible. But I think the way I got into this was that I felt like whatever questions I had before the season, I mean there's still questions, but I feel like the program is on a better arc than I would have thought before the season.
The Tigers still, when you look at what Georgia's done, Mizzou has gotten closer to beating them than anybody, and it was one game, but that shows things are going in the right direction, I think.
Absolutely, and I feel like I think that speaks to a really important point. I mean, maybe some people disagree with this, but I feel like you don't feel like the talent disparity is, certainly you don't feel like that in the middle tier of the SEC, and you feel like you can see at least some element of closure of a gap up above. And now that gap is probably still considerable, but when you can stay on the field with teams of that nature, the way they did for so long in that game, I mean, I think that's telling.
Tiger basketball season got underway last night with a win over Southern Indiana. You had the chance this summer to spend some time with Coach Gates. Your impressions of him?
Find him very compelling, very thoughtful, very dedicated to the all that comes with the idea of being called coach. And I think that speaks well to the decision to hire him. I believe he's got a real chance to get a little surge back into Missouri basketball.
Let's talk about the Chiefs for a little bit. Crazy game on Sunday night. Patrick Mahomes, 68 throws. He dropped back 78 times. He rushes for 63 yards. It's not sustainable to keep winning like that, is it?
Well, yes and no, because how many times have we said, I can't believe he pulled that rabbit out of this hat again, and yet in a different way. They always have that. On the other hand, you can't have 13 carries for 14 yards or 14 for 13 out of your running backs. You can't keep missing short field goals and extra points. At some point, that's going to be a trapdoor that falls. So far, they've kind of managed to navigate that, and Patrick always gives you a chance, but you'd like the margin for error to be reduced by, I think, literally some strides forward in the running game, which, let's remember, I mean, that's partly on the offensive line, too. It's sometimes hard to know where that one begins and the other ends, but something's got to be done, or this status quo won't take them where they need to go, where we all believe they could go.
Finally, a lot going on with the Royals here in the offseason. You wrote a column this week about new manager Matt Quachero. Initial impressions of him?
Just, I like his, I like his kind of aura, for lack of a better term. You know, his parents are both school teachers. He sort of projects that calm, poised, thoughtful, studied way of doing things. Now, in the first game when he gets kicked out, going berserk over a call, I'll have to walk this back a little bit. But I think I don't mean to discount that he's probably a fighter too. I don't mean that, but I believe that it's very easy to see how he would prioritize listening, and I think listening evokes trust. And I think all those elements on a personal level will be good. It's understood that he's, as John Sherman, the owner, put it, creative and innovative, comes from that background. That, I think, is sort of the prime directive of the Royals, to feel like they can make talk of analytics their first language as opposed to something they do. So all that, it seems fairly promising to me, and I really look forward to getting to know him better and seeing his influence on this team.
Tiger basketball takes on Penn this Friday. Your two alma maters, Penn and Missouri.
Our friend Dave Matter calls it the Vahe Gregorian Invitational.
That's what I was saying. I heard you're heading down for that, correct?
I think I'll go take a look. Seems irresistible to me, but really more to the point, I really am eager to get my first look at the new program with so many new players at Missouri.
Yeah. All right, Vahe Gregorian, Kansas City Star. Kansas City's been blessed to have some great sports columnists, and he's certainly among the best, if not the best. Thank you, sir. Great to have you. Hey, folks, next week we will have former Kansas City Star sports columnist Sam Mellinger here at the Westport Flea Market. He is now the communications director for the Kansas City Royals, and lots going on with the Royals. So make sure you come on down and visit us. Hey, for more information on the upcoming events and our 2023 golf tournament, please go to kctigerclub.com.